My name is Eric Shabazz, and you're listening to the Invisible Hand Podcast. The world's ran by human nature, self-interest, and power. Let's get into it.
What do I think of Kanye West? And what are the lessons we can learn from Kanye West and society and people? So number one, my personal opinion is Kanye West, let's take the roast spray off the show. The Kanye West is losing his damn mind. That's number one. However, does he have valid points about the music industry? Yes. Now, should he be blaming Jewish people as a whole? Publicly, no. Now, if you continue to see Jewish people behind industries that black people are involved in, where they're promoting degradation and negative images, and they'll be happy to finance it, and we see a pattern, you can acknowledge that those individual people were all Jewish. And if you see enough patterns where it's not only one person behind one industry, but 10 or 50 or 100 different people behind major industries that black people do, and they're all Jewish, then you can say, hey, this seems like a correlation, right? There's just some type of pattern here. We should look at that, right? So that's the only thing he's saying. And so from that perspective, Kanye West did nothing wrong. From the perspective of being strategic, knowing that you have partnership deals with Jewish people, knowing that Adidas is a Jewish company, knowing that a lot of the music deals you have are with Jewish business owners, if you speak directly on them as a people, especially when they're sensitive about these type of charges about Jewish people, given that the Holocaust and the Jewish history, you should be weary of what comes with that. Now, if you're prepared to lose your contracts and lose your deals like you're happening right now, then I can't say anything about Kanye. He believes what he believes, and he's prepared to lose what he loses. However, if he's not prepared to lose what he loses, then this is going to be a big wake-up call for Kanye. Now, what do I actually believe? I believe Kanye believes some of the stuff he's saying. However, I don't believe Kanye would have went about this the same way if there wasn't some level of mental health issues. Now, that doesn't mean that he doesn't understand what he's saying. That doesn't mean he doesn't believe what he's saying. It just means that I believe if he was totally, fully, 100% balanced, he may have went about it in a more strategic way where maybe he wouldn't have lost $2 billion worth of deals. He would have also went about it in such a way that when he communicated his reasons, he didn't leave so many holes in his argument where a lot of people can try to discount what he's saying. And you see, by saying Jewish people and being frivolous and using these artistic terms like DEFCON 3, you leave a lot open for imagination for people to misquote you and misrepresent what you're actually saying. And this is one of the big issues I have with Kanye West and a lot of artistic people talking in circles, talking in this airy-fairy language. Look, one of the most powerful things you can have in society is be able to communicate well and communicate fluently in such a way that people know exactly what you're talking about and exactly what you mean. And that's what you should aspire to, whether it's Kanye West or anybody else. And because if you don't, people will misconstrue or try to use your words to leverage on you. And that's basically what's happening to Kanye West today. People are misconstruing his words, saying that he's anti-Semitic and saying that he doesn't like or care about Jewish people. Not only are they trying to do that, they're trying to do something that's even more insidious. Take Kanye West's words and then compare them to the Holocaust, which is absolutely ridiculous. Kanye West is simply saying that I've been doing business with lots of Jewish people who happen to be in media, who happen to be in music, who happen to be in sports and fashion, and I have had a hard time getting a fair shake when dealing with them. I also have seen exploitative type of business practices and contracts. He's saying these people so happen to be Jewish, and so I'm seeing a pattern, and I just want to let you know about it. What he is not saying is Jewish are evil people who need to be exterminated like Adolf Hitler said. And they're trying to grab one extreme and connect it to the other and say Jewish, basically because Kanye West have some business dealings with Jews that's negative, that now he's anti-Semitic and against all Jews. No, let me speak for Kanye West, just for people who are trying to play words, because in my personal opinion, Kanye West is a creative who doesn't speak very clearly. So as somebody who's extremely articulate, I just messed up the fact that I am, let me speak for him. Kanye West is saying specifically that he's dealt with lots of Jewish people who happen to be at the top in executive positions in music, entertainment, sports, Adidas, and other dealings. And he's seen a pattern that a lot of their contracts and deals that they do with black people seems to be exploitative. And even when he brings something to the table like his fame, fortune, and influence, they still try to create deals that are unfair and structured in such a way to minimize his power and independence. And he's saying he's fed up with it. He gave examples of how they set up musical contracts that takes the majority of the profit, even though the majority of the talent, skill, and cultural influence of the music is controlled by the artists and their people. He's saying, I'm seeing consistent patterns of it. He's seeing disrespect when talking to these people, and he's fed up. Now, he may have brought up the fact that they're Jews. He may have been even a little upset and made it seem like those group of Jews have a conspiracy. But what he did not say is, I think Jewish people are evil. I think Jewish people are bad. And I think Jewish people should be exterminated. He did not say those things. He did not allude to those things. But at the same time, they're trying to make it seem like he did. And so by calling him anti-Semitic, simultaneously, it's a way of saying if you're anti-Semitic, then your thinking is the same thinking that put them in internment camps. Your thinking is the same thinking of the neo-Nazis. Your thinking is the same thinking that killed millions of Jews in World War II. And so what they're trying to say is if you say anything negative about Jews publicly, we're going to connect it to the atrocity of World War II and the Holocaust, and we're going to shut you down because we have power. Now, what's the difference between basically Quentin Tarantino making Django Unchained, where a white dude's in that movie saying nigger like 100 times? The difference is black people don't own any industries like media, entertainment, sports, or anything where we can say, because you done that, Quentin Tarantino, we're going to cancel you, cancel your contract, cancel your deals. We're going to call up CBS, YouTube, Facebook, and say, cancel you. The only difference between when other groups talk crazy about blacks and when essentially people talk about Jews is Jews are Caucasian and they have connections with white people and their executives in strategic positions where they can actually do something about it. So ultimately, and I'm going to speak to everybody who's undecided, is this fair? No. Should a man lose a $2 billion contract with Adidas, given the fact that 2 times in history, one time with Run DMC and now with Kanye early on, basically black artists and black culture has helped keep Adidas on the map. So the reality is, I want to challenge everyday Americans who went to college. I don't care if you're black, white, or even Jewish. If you're young and intelligent, you know, based on the history of Kanye West, that he has mental health issues. But you also know, based on what he has shown throughout his whole life on television, that ultimately this man has a good heart. And I don't believe for a minute any of these people who have canceled Kanye West, including people who are actually Jewish, believe Kanye West is a anti-Semitic. Nor do I believe any of these people believe that Kanye West have any hate in his heart for any particular race or group of people. And I would like to debate any person on the internet, in the executive rooms who are Jewish, that could come here and sit down eye to eye and prove to me through an argument that Kanye West has hate in his heart and he actually hates Jews. Nobody actually believed this. And what they're doing is playing with words. Why? Because we're in a new environment. And what is that new environment? That new environment essentially is the new internet, where it's the new ecosystem of social dynamics where we're more sensitive than ever. See, what you have to understand is companies now have to be more sensitive to what their actual audience or customer thinks, but they're assuming that their customer is more fragile than they actually are. Now everybody has a voice. If a customer doesn't like something, they can like or dislike on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram instantly. So if this so-called Kanye West says something against Jews, within one day, 100 million people know about it and are reacting. And because of that, corporate companies are forced to pay attention to these reactions and react. However, they're overreacting and not thinking long term. In a month, nobody will be talking about Kanye West and this issue. They'll be moved on to another. And in the meantime, they have broken up a lucrative deal with Kanye West where they can continue to produce billions of dollars over the next 5 to 10 years with him. And so both parties have lost for something frivolous as this. Now, am I saying that Kanye West should be saying this like this? No. But does he have a right to speak his mind and about his grievances about bad contracts? Yes. I would basically sum this whole story up is Kanye West has a right and a point to complain about bad dealings by individual Jewish people who are doing bad deals. Now, what could he learn from this? You have to learn to be more strategic and more careful with your words when you're in the game of fame and big business. That is the only difference and only mistake Kanye West made. And we as a people, I'm talking about the millions of Americans, have a responsibility using our education, using our minds, and using our character judgment to judge Kanye correctly and fairly. He is not an anti-Semitic. He is not evil. And if anything, if you look at Kanye West and all of his actions publicly, he has a good heart. Not only do he wants to do what's best for African Americans, but overall, based on his actual actions, he wants to do what's best for any American in this country if you look close enough. My name is Arif Shabazz. This is the Invisible Hand Podcast. I'm out.
The future of legal betting is finally here. Place a bet using Bitcoin right over the phone. Unlike traditional gambling sites, every bet you make with us is guaranteed a 50% probability of winning. All of our bets are one-on-one against a real person and never the house. We offer some of the most unique bets in the industry. Bets like, will LeBron James win his 5th NBA title? Will Joe Biden be elected for a second term? Will Tesla be worth $1 trillion by the end of 2022? You can bet on if it'll rain tomorrow. You can literally bet on any future event. Text the phrase I bet to the number in the description and I'll reply back with all of our available bets. Again, text the phrase I bet to the number in the description and I'll reply back with all of our available bets today.